Entry-level jobs in the near future will be where the young employee is paying the employer to gain critical first year's on-the-job experience, as opposed to them being paid wages, or even as a free intern. This will be like a college education where prestigious learning opportunities will be pay to play. And this might even become an extended curriculum to the regular college experience. So you know how I'm always saying if companies didn't have to pay you to work for them, they wouldn't? Well, we've arrived. Only now they want you to pay them for the opportunity to work there.
Would you pay to get hired? If you ask any reasonable person that question, their answer will most likely be no. Companies have websites and job boards you can simply browse through, find a job you think is a good fit, submit your resume, and fill in the application form. All of that can be done for free. So why am I even asking you if you pay to get hired? Well, that's because my question left out a ton of additional context. If I showed you this chart, then opened up a job posting you are interested in applying for, looked you directly in the eye and said, "Listen mate, in the last 2 days, 1,000 people applied for this job. 500 of them have more work experience than you do. 200 of them are more qualified than you are, and you are in the remaining pool of 300 people who are hoping to get noticed." With all that additional information now in mind, I ask you again, would you pay to get hired? If you watched my first video, I talk about my own journey as someone who graduated with a CS degree more than a year ago, sent out more than 400 job applications over the past 16 months, yet now, here I am on YouTube telling you about how all those applications have led to no job offers at all. You start to understand very quickly why people who are in a similar situation to me say, screw it, this is not worth it anymore. If I need to open up my wallet and pay, then I'll pay. At the end of the day, it does not matter how polished your resume is if no recruiter is going to see it because it got filtered out by the ATS. If your rent is due and you're currently unemployed, paying to get hired starts to sound like something you should consider. Which brings me to two other questions I want to quickly explore. Firstly, what is the desperation economy? And secondly, how profitable is the business of making people pay to get hired? To answer the first question, the desperation economy is simply a term I just made up to define a concept I covered in my previous video. Long story short, if you are a CS graduate as well, you've probably noticed a consistent trend. When you hop online, everyone seems to have a job in tech, but you don't. You watch people walk out of college straight into six-figure jobs at a big tech company, accompanied by the classic day in the life videos. While it seems as though your own applications are vanishing into the void each time you apply somewhere. If it's so easy to get hired, then the question becomes, are you the problem? Well, let's explore that concept a bit more with a hypothetical example. For instance, let's say you are interested in becoming a software developer. Like most graduates, you ask for advice and someone suggests you start contributing to open source projects. They tell you you'll make friends in the community, someone will see your contributions and your growing reputation as a developer, and then hire you. Problem solved. Except, what that piece of advice tends to leave out is that open source projects are often built by people with more experience than you have. Just because you are a fan of an open source project and you have some quote-unquote good ideas on how to improve it, does not mean you should start sending in a pull request. A lot of open source projects don't need more code, they just need more funding. These are projects people are working on for free in the maintainer's own spare time. And when aspiring developers with no work experience start coming in trying to boost their own resume by getting credited as a contributor, things tend to go wrong almost immediately. So, okay then, maybe let's leave open source to the more experienced engineers who actually know how a project works. What other options do you have for getting your name out there? Maybe networking perhaps? I mean, all the blog posts keep recommending you do that, so there's gotta be something to it, right? Well, try sending out 100 emails, DMs, and LinkedIn messages and see how many people actually get back to you. The chances of someone who's already an employee at a company you want to join replying to you specifically are not as high as the blog posts make it seem, especially when all you bring to the conversation is a degree and a few college projects. Why would I, an employee, vouch for you, a complete stranger who contacted me on a random Tuesday? I have no clue who you are, I don't know the motive behind your actions, and for all I know, your message could just be a phishing attempt, so no way I'm replying to that message. I guess then, even networking is getting us nowhere, meaning that's already 3 doors that have now been shut in your face. Firstly, your job applications are only getting auto-rejection emails, while everyone else around you seems to be getting hired. Secondly, your code is probably not good enough for open source projects. And third, your networking efforts are going unanswered. So, what's next then? Perhaps you should start building a side project maybe. Okay, that sounds like an awesome idea. Just one tiny question real quick. Who's gonna try your app? You're an unemployed graduate with a CS degree, no industry connections, no marketing budget, and no built-in audience. You can't exactly bet on going viral on TikTok and YouTube for your AI-powered app that does who knows what, especially when the numbers look this bad. All of a sudden, on top of being unemployed, you are now responsible for all the costs associated with your side project, while you still have no source of income. If you are hosting your app somewhere, you need to pay for that. If your project uses any APIs, you need to cover the costs for that too. Or let's not forget, you still have no marketing budget at all, meaning that's now a 4th door that just shut in your face. Imagine how frustrating going through that becomes. You're stuck in a constant cycle over weeks, months, heck, even years in some cases. Well, mate, if you are in that boat and stuck in that cycle currently, then I'd like to welcome you to the Desperation Economy, where nothing you do will get you hired. But don't worry, there's a simple solution to all your problems. Just pay to get hired. This is a service named GoApply. What do these guys do for you? Put simply, if you pay for a subscription, these lovely people will take your resume and blast it all across the internet, on your behalf of course. Why spend months sorting through jobs you don't qualify for, just to find the few that you might be a good fit for? We both know you are going to go on to get ghosted because the company already found a more experienced candidate who's willing to take a pay cut after they got laid off from Microsoft. For a small monthly subscription, you can just make your job search someone else's problem. Like the tagline says, apply to thousands of jobs in minutes. These guys are so generous, in fact, they'll even throw in an AI tool to help tailor your resume to each job description. I mean, how nice is that? All of a sudden, paying to get hired is not as outrageous as it originally sounded. If this service alone is claiming to send out more than 4,000 job applications a day, imagine how many other people are paying for this service. In the desperation economy, throwing money at the problem becomes easier to justify if everyone else is doing it. Everyone's getting laid off and the economy sucks, so you paying to get hired is just you trying to improve your own chances, right? I mean, rent is still due at the end of the month, and ironically, you now need a job to pay for this new subscription you have. Like many people who got a CS degree, I went through college with the hopes of becoming a software engineer. I like working with tech, and building apps that solve other people's problems is also pretty cool. Too bad that job offer is not coming my way anytime soon though. With the rise of AI tools doing entry-level work, and developers with 5 to 8 years of work experience getting laid off, any coding job I apply to is automatically flooded with hundreds of candidates who, just like me, also got a specialized CS degree, which makes it harder for them to switch careers. When most of your college projects are mobile apps or desktop apps or websites, and you suddenly realize that to find a job, you'll either have to abandon your degree entirely or go back to college so you can switch careers to a different field like QA or product management, then paying to get hired does not sound like such a bad idea anymore. So, what's the cost? You're an unemployed graduate who desperately wants to become a software engineer, and paying to get hired seems to be the only way you'll make it to an interview in this job market. So, how much do you need? Well, how about around $2,000? But wait, before you panic, let's remember you currently have no source of income. How about these generous services give you a hand then and throw in a discount to get the price down to $800 instead? Sounds much more affordable. What does spending all that money get you? Well, tools like UltraCode and Interview Coder promise to get you that big tech software engineer job you want by helping you cheat on the actual interview itself. I mean, you need the job, right? It's a very small price to pay if you just ignore the countless stories of people who are getting caught using these tools in interviews and getting themselves blacklisted, while at the same time, the tools themselves keep claiming to be undetectable in those same interviews. Now, you may ask, what happens if you do get blacklisted? In simple terms, that could mean the company you apply to bans you from applying to any other roles they might have, or even preventing you from applying to roles at other companies who are affiliated with them. So let's hope you have a really long list of other companies you're planning to apply for. Also, if you did work with a recruiter to land the job interview, that could also mean the recruiter has to stop working with you to protect their own reputation with the company. I mean, no company will touch a recruiter who's sending in candidates that come in and try to cheat on the interview. Also, how many of those other tech companies on your list will still be willing to hire you after they also hear about how you tried to cheat your way through an interview at a different company? I mean, with all that additional context in mind, I ask you again, would you pay to get hired?